SDSU Extension Rangeland curriculum. SARE grant number LNC 19-419. Come spend a day with us in the life of a farmer or rancher, through the good days and the bad.
Hello, I'm Gordon Gerbig, Amadon, North Dakota. I've lived here most of my life except for the years I put in the Army and a couple of years down in the Buffalo, South Dakota country. I was born here the year 1947. That was the year my dad purchased this ranch. And we've been here ever since. Worked for my uncle a couple of years prior to coming here too. So this is kind of like home for me most of my life. One thing I'd like to point out, on this side hill in front of us is a good example of encroaching Rocky Mountain junipers. The problem that what I'm trying to present to you is these junipers are like a noxious weed almost. They suck a lot of moisture out of the grassland, out of the structure of the grass. And if they get thick enough, they keep multiplying, and pretty soon you're going to have a forest there, and the grassland will be gone. And there's a great deal of concern amongst ranchers and the Forest Service of what this situation is becoming. A lot of it goes back to hundreds of years of fire taking care of a lot of these junipers. But anymore, when there's prairie fires that happen, well, they get put out. Therefore, the junipers just keep reproducing and spreading. But the biggest thing is, on a profile like this, is the amount of moisture that those junipers reach out with their roots to grasp moisture for themselves and robbing that from the grassland. Natural Resource Conservation actually they have programs in place right now where they are thinning out Rocky Mountain juniper forests that have taken over the grassland in certain areas. There are some areas like that on this ranch. The reason this crested wheatgrass being planted back in the 30s was they didn't have anything else to stop the erosion. And so when they seeded the crested wheatgrass, obviously the native species were gone from the land being broke up. So then the crested wheatgrass had the upper hand. Basically, the native species have been trying to work their way back into the system, but they all compete for moisture. And the crested wheatgrass being a cool season grass, it gets a head start on even the native cool seasons. An example of land that was farmed back in the 30s, there's predominantly crested wheatgrass. It's a mixture of native, but managing the timing of the grazing on this crested wheatgrass situation, you want to be out here in early June or even late part of May to try to catch the crested wheatgrass at its premium. We've been short of water in all these pastures, so we could do proper rotating and stuff. Dams that are getting wore out. The well back behind us was an artesian well. It still is, but it doesn't have enough pressure to push any water anyplace. That's the reason for the pump. It just gives us more flexibility to rotate pastures throughout the summer and the fall. And of course, when it's droughty period, it gives you reliable water. It's the biggest thing. Plus, your cattle have to travel less distance to water. The SCS kind of recommends a minimum or a maximum of half a mile for a cow to have to travel for water. Any water improvements or fencing improvements to divide pastures or to spread cattle out more or whatever. The only money that used to be available was conservation practices money, better known as CP money, that you had to apply for, and sometimes you had to wait 4 or 5 years to get a CP practice enacted on your allotment to put in a well or a pipeline. Now the Natural Resources Conservation Group, which is a government entity, and the Forest Service, they're working together now under what they call the Joint Chiefs money, and they're working together, such as this project that we're doing here. We applied for that project through the NRCS. The engineer in the office at that time developed, along with myself, we decided where we needed water, and then we developed a route and a source of water, and we have a multi-year plan in place to add water as we need it until we feel we have enough water here. We're actually haven't completed the whole pipeline system that was applied for. We're doing it in segments. We've been at it now for about 3 or 4 years. We got the main part of it done, that in the pastures that needed it the worst, we've gotten those taken care of. But there's roughly at least 2.5 miles that we've put in so far. We'll probably end up with 3.5 miles when we're done. Having this water will allow us to change seasons of use, which we haven't been able to do consistently due to lack of water in certain pastures.